Okay, the first four terms of a sequence are 12, 36, 108, and 324. What's the first thing you can tell me? It's geometric. How did you know it was geometric? Multiplying by 3. Okay? Does anyone have their little paper, their little cheat sheet for how to write an equation that is geometric? So we're going to start with the first term. What's the first term? 12. And then we're going to do what? 3 to the n minus 1 power. Done. That's it. Done. Okay? That ties in with what we're going to learn today. Okay? Alrighty. If the 12th term of the sequence is this big long thing, so let's write this out. So 2, 1, 2, 5, 7, 6, 4 equals 12, 3 to the n minus 1. What is the first thing I could do? Chip away till you're at the variable. What could I do? Divide by 12. Okay, that helps us make the number smaller, right? Okay, what did you get? One, 0, 6. Did I write it down correctly? That's what it is, divided by 12? Okay. Equals 3 to the n minus 1, right? Yes. Is everyone good? Did we get a different answer? Oh, yes. Okay, hold on. Let's erase. Make sure you're dividing by 12. Make sure you divided by 12 and didn't add an extra digit. Okay, it should be 177,147. Okay, now, what could I do? What could I do? Now, this actually, you would have learned in Algebra 1 right before winter break. How do I know? Because I taught algebra for 23 years. Yeah, so you learned this right before December. Nobody remembers? Hold on, what did you say? So log you didn't learn till Algebra 2, so we're not allowed to use log. No, what did you? Square root, getting closer. Okay, so what we need to do is we need this to have the same base to make life easier, right? So 3 to some power is going to equal this number. 3 to what power gives me that number? Guess and check, put it under y equals and go to the table and figure it out that way. Somebody figure it out for me. This is how you did it in Algebra 1, right? You made them both the same base, yes? Okay, and I forgot to bring my set of calculators today, sorry. 3 to the what? Come on, somebody's got to have it. It's higher than 5, I believe. What is it? 3 to the 11th. Great. Can somebody verify? Somebody please, 3 caret 11? Yeah, it's 11. Do I get, are we good? Nobody's playing tricks on me this time? Okay, great. So, I now have, let me switch colors. I now have 3 to the 11 equals 3 to the n minus 1. Who remembers what I'm allowed to do from algebra? Why? Because they're the same, so I can ignore them. So I'm left with 11 equals n minus 1. Add 1, so 12 equals n. Done. Wasn't so bad. That's one of the most complicated things you'd be asked to do. Okay? All right? Ask your question. I see you thinking. Okay, because n minus 1 is 11. Okay. Remember, it's always one less, so we have to take care of that. And the reason for that is, first, this is the first term, right? So this can't be 1, because if this is 1, 3 to the 1 is 3. This needs to be 0, because anything to the power of 0 is, who remembers it? 1. And 12 times 1 would give us 12 the first term. Okay, so that's why. Good questions. I like it. I like it a lot. Yes. Yes, and you'll be given a calculator, okay? I'll bring some extra calculators. I just forgot to bring them today. All right, so at this time, we started a half sheet. We're going to go through the half sheet from Friday. I know I had some people absent, and I have new starters. New starter. You don't have it? Okay. I know. You left for the football game. Okay. All right. What does this right here mean? The 21st term is 65. And what does this mean? The common difference is -2. Now remember, we're going to use the formula, and I told you it only helps us if we know 2 of the 3 things. I know 2 of the 3 things, okay? So what is the formula I'm going to use? Okay, so I'm going to use U sub, let me pick a different color. U sub n, can you guys see that? Equals, what is it? U sub 1, plus n minus 1 to d, okay? Do I know the first term? Do I know the end term, the output, the final output? Yes. What is it? 65, beautiful. So 65 equals first term plus 65 is the 21st term, and I'm multiplying by -2. Can someone summarize what I did? Someone summarize what I just did. I substituted in, yes. Okay. I don't have an extra with me right now. If you look on, I'll get it for you. So just copy your work on a paper. Okay, so 65 equals U1 plus 20 times a -2. What did I do? I did 21 minus 1. I'm simplifying. 65 equals U sub 1 minus 40. So now what do I do? Add 40. And what did I learn? The first term is 105. Excellent. I'm going to be honest with you. That's towards the easy to the middle of the road level question, okay? All right? Is everyone good with that? Other questions about it? All right. Sorry, this is going to be a very long video because I'm going to record everything. So if you need to, you can fast forward if you need to go back to watch anything, okay? All right. Second question. Now, this is a little more complex, and we need to think and we need to decode what it's telling us. Given that 2 terms of an arithmetic sequence are U sub 5 is -3 and 7/10, and U sub 15 is -52 and 3/10, find the value of the 19th term. Okay, so I have a number of term and I have an output, but I don't have the first term and I don't have the difference. So I don't have enough information. Yes? Okay. If you paid attention earlier in the week, or sorry, last week, arithmetic and geometric are unique because it is a consistent pattern. Consistent pattern. Meaning the space between terms is always going to be the same. Equal space. Yes? Okay. So I am going to go from, this is logically thinking out. This is my think aloud, okay? I'm going to go from the 5th term all the way to the 15th, right? So I've moved 10. Okay? Now, How far is negative 3 7/10 to negative 52 3/10? What's the difference there? Take out your calculator if you need to. What's the difference? So you want to start with the last term and subtract the first term. 48.6. Can I have a second on that? 48.6, okay? Now, let me stop. Honest, I need honesty right now. If you don't know where the 10 came from, or you don't know where the 48.6 came from, your hand is in the air so I can help you. Please. Okay, great. So, I did, there's the 5 and 15, yes? So I did 15 minus 5, which gave me 10. Then I did negative 52.3 minus a negative 3.7. Double negative means I really add. Okay? And so you guys lied to me. It's a negative 48.6, or I didn't hear you when you said negative. Okay? Everyone good? Okay? So I'm going to take the total distance traveled. What was the total distance traveled on the final outputs? Not the number of terms. I don't want to know how many terms I traveled. What was the total distance I traveled? Yes, the output numbers. How far did I travel from one output number to the other? Negative 48.6. Negative 48.6. Always, always, total distance traveled over total number of terms, right? So I get negative 4.86. How was I able to divide so quickly? When you divide by 10, you just move the decimal one time. If I divide by 100, I move it twice, okay? Good. Just a shortcut. Nothing wrong if you had to get out a calculator and do it, okay? But I'm trying to give you shortcuts to make you a little more efficient. Okay. Who in this room can tell me what negative 4.86 represents? The pattern, my common difference, also referred to as my pattern. Okay? So every time I'm going to subtract 4.86 to get the next term. Everyone see that? Okay, great. So now I can do the rest of the problem. Okay? Can I erase this, or some people need some time? We're good? All right. You can always go back and watch it as long as everything works out today. All right. So, now I'm going to use that same formula you guys gave me before. Okay? So UN equals, oh, no, I can't do that. This one is a 3-part question. So somebody else, let me write something here. D equals negative 4.86. This is a 3-parter. I'm sorry. Tell me what I can do. Because I still have to find the what? First term before I can find the 19th term. All right, talk to me. What can I do? I'm not doing all the thinking. Yes, thank you. Substitute in the formula. So tell me what to substitute in, because I actually have 2 options. What do you want to go with? You want to go with 5 or 15? 5, great. So I'm going to do negative 3.7 equals negative 4.86 plus 5 minus 1 times negative 4.86. Stop me if you don't know where that came from, because I didn't show the, I've subbed in. Yes. Because I shouldn't have. Thank you. I should have put u sub 1. Yes. I just plugged into that u sub n equals u sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, I plugged in what I knew. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the math. Negative 3.7 equals u sub 1 plus, help me out, what's 4 times a negative 4.86? Help me out, help me out. Negative 19.44. Can I get a second? Because I've been making goofs today. Keeping you on your toes and me on my toes. Good? All right. So how do I figure out the first term? I'm not doing the work. Come on. Add, yes. See, you guys know how to do it. You need to trust in yourselves. Okay, somebody do that. I know it's integer work, so look it up. Use the calculator if you have to. I don't know if anyone ever taught you this, but if the signs are different, you can find the difference of the two numbers and take the sign of the bigger, so bigger minus the smaller. If they're the same sign, you add them. Okay, so they're different signs. So I did 19 and 44/100 minus, 3 and 7/10, and I got 15 point, and that represents my what? First term. So I will tell you on your quiz, there's like an A, a B, a C. So this would be an example of an ABC problem. So part A was to find the common difference. Part B was to find the first term, and now we're going to use it to find the 19th term. Milka's going to do it because she's looking like she's a little nervous, but I know she can do it. All right. I know she can do it. All right. Okay, again, we're going to go back to our favorite little formula we've been using, right? And I'm looking for the output this time, right? So I'm going to leave it U sub n. All right, come on. What was that first term? We just found it. What is it? 15.74. I know you can do it. Come on. All right, what goes in the parentheses? What term am I looking for? We're on problem 2. So I'm looking for the 19th. 19th. So I'm going to do 19 minus 1. And who can tell me what was that D that we found? And literally just type it in your calculator with the parentheses and all. Type it in your calculator with parentheses and all, and it should do the right thing. Or you can do it step by step. Well, this is technically 3. It's 1 question on there, but if we're on a quiz, it's technically 3 test questions. Is that helpful? This would technically be 3 questions. They tricked you to do an extra work, I know. Not cool at all. All right, what did we get, guys? Negative 71. Whoop, whoop. Yay. I know that was kind of a long one. But now you get the idea, okay? So if they give me, think of it as ordered pairs, okay? So you have your subscript and your output. If you're given 2 ordered pairs, you calculate the difference, it's kind of like slope. The difference between your y's over the difference of your x's. Yeah? Good? Okay? I'm trying to always relate everything back to algebra. I haven't told you guys this yet. I'm sorry. Once you get to pre-calc, you have learned everything, okay? So everything you learned in algebra, up to algebra, we just use in a different way. Pre-calc is not brand new. We're just going to take a little piece here and there and put it together. So it seems like it's new, but it's not. It's putting pieces together that you've done before, okay? And sometimes we have to point it out to you, and sometimes you start to see it. The idea is as the year goes on, you see things before I point it out to you, okay? All right. Okay. Now, is this an easy one or a tricky one? This one should be an easy one. I'm going to pause, and I'm going to give you 90 seconds, okay? Plug it into that formula. This one should be easier. Okay. So the formula is great, and we understand that we have 2 of the 3 pieces, but the wording in the word problem gets a little tricky. So if you don't know what it's talking about, it could affect you getting the problem, okay? So, easy. Bam. This one they didn't use words for. They just did the symbol. But find the term that has a value of 2. What are they talking about? 2 is what? U of n, okay? So they're looking for n. Term is n. Okay, so 2 equals 11 plus n minus 1 times a negative 3. Yes? Say it again. Yes, it would. Because why would it be negative 3 and minus 1 plus 3? Because you distribute. Nice use of vocabulary. Thank you. So, literally all it is, again, you guys didn't believe me, but this is like week 2 or 3 of algebra when you were back solving equations, okay? We got to work on the fact that you guys can do this and you know it. All right, so we have 2 equals 11 minus 3n plus 3, and it looks weird because I'm distributing backwards because my multiplication's on this side. I just distributed. Negative 3 times a positive n is negative 3n. Negative 3 times a negative 1 is positive 3. Yes? Talk to me. What do you want me to do? Because there's lots of correct ways to do this from here. You can combine like terms. You can move stuff. What do you want to do? Combine like terms. Okay? So then 2 equals 14 minus 3n. Now what do you want to do? Subtract what? Oh, you guys are so smart today, see? So negative 12 equals negative 3n, n equals 4. I didn't show my last step, okay, because it was a one step, so I just jumped right in. What does n equal 4 mean? That the fourth term is equal to 2. You got it. All right. You want to take a break from word problems for a little bit and do something easier? Yeah? We'll come back to the word problems, okay? All right. So, give me 10 seconds to hole punch because I keep forgetting to hole punch and that's not fair to you guys. Okay, so we're going to take a break from the word problems. We'll come back to them and we're going to talk about sigma notation, okay? So you've actually been doing sigma notation. Look back at your warm-up. Look back at your warm-up. Number 1 on your warm-up today, right? Okay? You came up with an equation, right? What was the equation? Right? And this is for the first to the, I'm going to do infinity because I said to the nth term, right? Okay? All right. That is how you write an equation, all right? In sigma notation. So it points out to you, the bottom is your start number, the top is your end number. If there's not an end number, I put infinity, okay? So problem 2 on the warm-up wanted the first through the 12th term, right? Yes? So I would make this a 12, okay? If that's what I was asking for, okay? So I'm starting with what term and I'm ending and what formula am I using? Cool? All right. And then literally you're adding them up. But we learned a shortcut to sum them up. We have 2 formulas for summing up, and you have to have those formulas memorized. And technically we learned 3. Why did we learn 3? Geometric has 2. When it's less than 1, when it's greater than 1, ignoring the negative sign. Okay. All right. So we are going to do exactly what this says. It wants us to evaluate the sum. Sigma means sum. I want the sum. I want the sum of the first through the 12th term using this formula. How did I know this was arithmetic? Right. If I'm adding or subtracting something, okay, and the variable is being multiplied, the variable is not an exponent. When the variable is an exponent, that's my cue that it's geometric. Cool? All right. So let's go ahead and use our formula. How many terms does it want? How many terms does it want? 12 terms. Right? It wants the first through the 12th term, right? Okay? What's the first term? Oh, no. What's the first term? Nope. What's the value of the first term? What did you say? Not negative 5. All right, so we got to plug it in. 4 times 1 minus 5. 4 minus 5 is negative 1. So the first term is negative 1. How many terms does it want? It wants from the first to the 12th term. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 terms. Okay? Cool? part of the formula, right? It's always number of, this formula right here is the formula for sum.
Okay.
The formula for sum I put on the paper so you don't forget. Okay, cool? How do I figure out what number goes here? Plug it in. 4 times 12 minus 5. 48 minus 5 is 43. So 6 times 42, which is? What is it? What is it? 252. Okay, good? This is not brand new, okay? Last week we did 1, let's say 4, 7, 10. I asked you to sum up the first 4 terms of that pattern. So it was given to you in this format where they're all listed out, dot, dot, dot. Now we're going to write it in symbol form instead of writing all the terms out, dot, dot, dot. That is the only change. Okay? We just increase the challenge a little bit. Not a lot, okay? Good? And also it's out of pure laziness because I didn't want to list out 12 terms. Yeah? Okay. All right, so if you flip that paper over, there's one for you to try. Now, this is a little tricky. How many terms are from 6 to 19? It is 13 terms, yes. So, when the first term, this always works, ready? Decrease this by 1 because of the minus 1, so what is it? And 19 minus 5 is? 14. Oh, so it's not 13 terms, it's actually 14. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So a good trick is to decrease the bottom number by 1 and subtract them to determine how many terms there are. Okay? So in the last one, 1 minus 1 is 0, so 12 minus 0 is 12. It works every time. Okay? How many numbers are between 0 and 9? How many numbers are from 0 to 9? 10. So that's that similar reason, okay? All right, so go ahead and try this one. 0, 1, 2, 3, it shifts it over 1 space, right? 1 to 9 is 9 digits, but 0 to 9 is actually 10 different numbers.
Is N 5 or 6?
And it's going to be 6. But no, it's not going to be. For the formula, I need to know the total number of terms that I'm looking for, right? So, how many terms are between 6 and 19? It is 14 terms. So 19, and if you decrease the bottom number by 1 and then subtract, it makes it easier. Okay? Yeah.
How did you find the first term using this?
So you plug in the number. You just sub in. You sub in each of these numbers.
To find the first term and then to find.
Yep. Okay, so I just had some side conversations with people and recorded that, sorry. All right, so here we go. Remember, this is total number of terms, okay? So from 6 to 19 is actually 14 different terms, okay? So that's going to be 14 over 2. I want to know the exact first term. How do I get it? Plug it in. So 2 times 6 plus 6, 12 plus 6, or 18. Okay. And then the last term is? 2 times 19 plus 6. 38 plus 6 is 44. Da da da. So 7 times 2. Carry the 1. 62. Did I do that right? 434. Did I do it right or no? So this is the answer to the bottom plug-in. This is the answer to the top plug-in. Always, always. Okay? It is not new. You've been summing up numbers since last week. It's just presented in a different format. Okay? All right. So, we had 5 and we had 1. I dropped the 1 to 0. So how many terms? 5. Great. When I plug in 1 into the equation, I got 8. And when I plugged in 5, I got 104. Okay? Yeah, that's if you didn't drop the squared. Okay. So then we have 112 divided by 2, which is 56 times 5 is 280. Good. Homework is to finish that page. I will post the video.